Located to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Madison Carmouche. This year, Corbin officials decided they wanted to have a food week every quarter. In the first week of October marks the start of Dessert Week. WYMT's Jack Demler was in Corbin to talk with the Director of Tourism as well as local restaurants about this sweet week.
I hope you brought your sweet tooth. 9 locally owned restaurants are gearing up for Corbin's second annual Dessert Week.
It was a huge success last year when we rolled it out, and we thought it would be a really great idea to do it again this year.
Running from October 2nd through the 7th, Dessert Week allows community members to try some custom-made culinary sweets for $6 per dish.
It's just basically an opportunity for people to try something different without it breaking the bank.
Like Bubby's Barbecue's Barnyard Skillet Brownies.
Like, we tried to think of something that was like a table dessert that could be shared. It's in a little skillet, and like 2 or 3 different people can eat out of it at once.
A delicacy that manager Michael Shepard says is a fan favorite.
That's what a lot of people come just for the brownies, believe it or not, and to be able to do a bigger version like this skillet is, and adding to it is just, I think people really like it.
Giving community members a sweet treat to end Corbin's year of food. In Corbin, Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
Mulholland says now that Dessert Week is in its second year, they have more of an opportunity to promote it. You can find the full list of participating restaurants and their desserts on our website.
Well, the forecast tonight looking a little bit on the drier side for most of the area. Let's take a look at our camera network, and you can see not a whole lot of fog out there just yet. A little bit trying to form in the valleys there on Buffalo Mountain and into the WYMT Studios area. Jenkins looking a little bit rough there. Well, not rough, but looking a little bit foggy at times there. And then you see London and Corbin, Pikeville, and Moorhead, everybody looking okay right now. Temperature's still a bit mild out there this evening. We're seeing 68 in Moorhead, 67 in Jackson, 68 also in Pikeville, 59 here in Hazard, 59 also in Grundy, and 56 in Clintwood. So a lot of low 60s out there, low to mid 60s. As we head to the overnight hours, I think we'll drop into the upper 50s by about 7 o'clock in the morning. So again, we'll keep an eye on that for you. Looks like clear sky. There'll be some patchy fog out there a little bit late too. Madison?
Thank you, Brandon. Police are searching for a man who is missing from a minimum security prison. James Baker, 32, is serving a 7-year sentence at the Bell County Forestry, but walked away earlier this evening. Baker is 5'10" and 195 pounds. He has green eyes and black hair. If you know where Baker is or where he might be heading, please call KSP at 606-573-3131 or the camp at 606-337-7069. Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend, the man who was at the center of a drug investigation that led to her death, is now behind bars. Jamarcus Glover faces charges of organized crimes and using children to traffic drugs, among others. St. Matthews police took him into custody at a house in the Taylor-Berry neighborhood. They said he was using the home as a base to sell drugs. Back in 2020, Glover's home was the focus of another investigation. That's when Breonna Taylor's apartment was raided, resulting in her death. Glover pleaded guilty to drug trafficking to avoid a prison sentence last year and was supposed to be on probation in Mississippi. Yesterday, he posted on social media that he was back in town. The AFT and the DEA are also investigating. Glover will be in court tomorrow. Fall forest fire hazard season officially begins on October 1st and lasts until December 15th in Kentucky. During this season, there are higher risk for forest fires. The state places a burn restriction to make sure that those who plan controlled burns do so safely. For the next 8 weeks, the burn conditions are favorable for forest fires. Officials warn folks not to burn between the hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
What you want to do is give yourself around 10 feet of area around wherever you're burning. during those hours of 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and give yourself a little more area where it's not going to catch something else on fire right there.
October is also Fire Prevention Month and helps fire safety to gain some extra attention. One organization is looking to better the relationship between elementary school students and food. Food Corps launched a program with Perry County Schools that betters food education in rural areas. Food Corps Site Supervisor Kirsten Webb says this program will have a positive impact on students as it teaches them how to create their own food in a time where food at the grocery store can be expensive.
People are struggling, and food prices are outrageous, and people are trying to identify ways to cut back. And if we can show them a way that they can plant a 68-cent packet of seeds and have food over, the next 2 months, I think that is a huge sense of empowerment, and it gives people back a sense of dignity in a way.
Webb says in less than 2 months, the program has been successful in getting students involved and learning about growing their own food. She says other school districts are looking to join in on the program as well. Special Olympics Kentucky has officially opened their flag football season. More than 200 athletes competed in the tournament at St. Xavier High School. 4 teams were from Louisville, were there along with teams from Brandenburg, Elizabethtown, Frankfort, and more across the state. One of the organizers talked about how this benefits the players.
Well, one, I would say, is the socialization aspect. They come here, they make friends that last a lifetime. But also, we're teaching skills, and they're playing just like any other athlete on a play-in field. And so we're building those skills like we do in traditional sports. So we're excited to celebrate their achievement.
This was the first of 3 regional tournaments. The next ones will be on October 22nd and November 4th. It's the 1st of October, marking the beginning of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Each year, more than 10 million Americans are subjected to domestic violence. As Samantha Valentino shows us, there are people who work daily to change these stats.
Greenhouse 17 is the domestic violence program serving the 17 counties in central Kentucky.
What we really do is we provide all the wraparound services for a survivor. It's kind of our job to wrap ourselves with them and around them.
Darlene Thomas is the executive director of Greenhouse 17. She says domestic violence is more common than you might think.
It's happening every day here in Kentucky.
Back in June, the state released a report on domestic violence stats in the Commonwealth. It found that more than 45% of women and 35% of men experience intimate partner physical violence or rape in their lifetimes. According to the report, more than 38,000 JC3 forms were filed in 2022. A JC3 is a form used by law enforcement officers responding to a report of domestic violence and abuse or dating violence and abuse.
So many survivors who really just need us, the community, to pay attention, to look around us, know what's going on with our neighbors, our friends, the people we go to church with.
That's why Thomas says it's important to raise awareness of domestic violence and support survivors every day. The entire month of October is dedicated to doing just that, as it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Not to normalize it as if it's okay, but to normalize it in a way that says you have a right to other choices and options, and this is not anything you should be ashamed of. Things happening to you is not your shame or burden to carry, although most survivors feel it is.
In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
There are more than 15 cities throughout the Commonwealth that offer domestic violence programs and resources, with 6 of them being in our coverage area. Coming up at 11, thousands of healthcare workers could go on strike this week.
And some nice days are ahead for most of this week, but some chances for rain are coming. The latest forecast in just a few minutes.